Hello, friends. Thank you for joining us this evening. I'm your host, Zen Garcia.
Do right to the widow. Sorry about that, everybody. All right. Do right to the widow, judge for the fatherless, give to the poor, defend the orphan, clothe the naked, heal the broken and the weak, laugh not at a lame man to scorn, defend the maimed and let the blind man come into the sight of my clearness. Hello and welcome, everybody, and thank you always for joining us for another live broadcast this evening. I am joined by Kimberly Baker and also Robert Nyagami. I believe I know I butchered that, but um, he is running the Kaomba Orphanage for us in Kenya, and we've asked him to join us to give us an update. But also, we had some ideas for um, allowing people to gain access and to sponsor directly the different orphans. And I thought this would be a good idea, something that the Most High brought into my mind as I was brainstorming, how we can better assist the children on the ground at the different orphanages that we support. But that's just one of the ideas. We're going to speak about some of those things this evening, and we thank you for joining us. Kimberly, are you there, sister?
I am, Zen. It's so good to be here with you again.
Yeah, it's again my great honor, and those that have heard and listened to many of our previous shows, you will know that Kimberly is also working in the Patriot movement and has a case pending before the Supreme Court. And so, before we move on and before we bring Robert on, can you just speak a little bit about that, Kimberly? And because it's very, very interesting.
Well, at this point, we have a habeas corpus. We have a lady who has been taken down by the tyrannical justice system. If any of you have seen what they've done to our different political parties here, I'm not a political associate, but um, the justice system is really going after the people of America. And so she is in jail and she's never harmed anyone or never stolen or damaged anyone's property. And so we took her case on, but we're American state nationals and she is too. And, we've been constructing and reconstructing our federal republic. And so it has already been constructed on the national scale. It's been each state is up in its republic, and now we're building our courts. And so our case is the first case for our state, well, for any state to go a habeas corpus through to the Supreme Court. And so we're anxious to see it's all been filed. We're waiting to see what happens next.
That's a pretty big deal, and I do pray that precedence is set and that you are able to assist the lady. And we will, of course, do an update. I do know that there are many in the chat that are interested in the topics of the, as far as what you are doing in the Constitution, the alternative, and the all of the information that is connected and part of all of that as well. So, but Robert, can you hear us, brother?
Yes, brother Zain, I can hear you very well.
All right. I'm so glad to have you on and to be able to join us, and definitely want to give you a chance to give us update and tell us, kind of what's going on with you and on the ground level there in Kenya, and then we'll talk about, how we are attempting and moving forward with trying to establish and build the school. But if you would, can you give out the website information for the orphanage and then give us an update on how you and the children, your wife and your family, and everybody there at the ground level are doing?
Yeah, thank you, Brother Zen. Thank you, Sister Kim, and everyone who are online and listening to us. Say shalom, shalom. May the peace of Yahweh be to you all. And even a reference to James 1:27, which is actually the theme verse of my brother Zen Endeavor Freedom. So my name is Pastor Robert Nyamwangi, the founder of the church called the House of Bread, and the founder of the Kehumbu Rehema Children's Home, a home that is a home to the vulnerable, the children, the abused, and the orphans, and also the founder of a small village school called Emmanuel Lights Academy. We are currently a population of 73 children, and both girls and boys. Our website is, if you go to Google and type Kehumbu Rehema Children's Home, or if you can type https dot stroke Kehumbu Rehema Children's Home.org, you'll find us there. That is our website. Our kids are doing well. Mama Terry is doing well. And we thank you all, even because of what you've done for us in this home. And above all, the water that is running, the house that was built through Cain, and many other supports that you've given us at home. Thank you.
Well, it's our great honor. And for those that have not heard before, Kimberly and I have done probably 2 or 3 shows speaking about the orphanage, the KRCH orphanage there. And we will post a link in the chat and also in the description. But really quickly, Kimberly, would you mind just spelling out the website so that people can go and find it? And then we're going to go back to Robert and get an update on the happenings and the schools and all of what is necessary for the children.
Absolutely. And then I'll also put a link in the chat, in the YouTube chat. But the website is KEUMBUREHEMA children'shome.org.
Excellent. And thank you again, everybody, for your patience. We were just a little bit behind, but praise God, we were able to get Robert on with us. And so, Robert, can you give us just kind of an update of what is going on there and how things are, just general there in Kenya, the weather, the season, what you are and the family and the kids are doing with your time, kind of a day in the life.
Oh yeah, between dawn and sundown, Monday to Friday is our school days, except before holidays. So our kids will wake up early in the morning by 5 to prepare themselves to go to school, and they come back for lunch, and they go back to school and come back in the evening. Then they do their homeworks and do their works. Then they sleep and wake up in the morning. That is life for a child in school. On a Saturday, we break for church, and on Sunday is manual days and days to relax before they go back to school on Monday. Yeah, we have had floods in other parts of Kenya recently. We want to thank Yahweh that we did experience it at the orphanage. We did experience it here in Kisii. The weather is now okay and favorable, although there were floods in Kenya, but we thank Yahweh for the weather that we had in Kisii. There was rain, but we didn't have much of it like it was in other parts of the nation. So we count Kisii blessed.
A question with regard to the weather, and also the area that you are located. How far are you from the main city? Kind of so we can get an idea, so people can know where you are located, just in case at some point if somebody wanted to visit or to come and stay. I know that you have opened up and have extended welcome to anybody that would like to come and see the ground operations, to meet the children, and to support you in what you are doing. And that includes, anybody that has any kind of skill set to build, construct, or just wants to come and hang out. And also like with the livestock and the gardening. Can you talk about those kind of things and as well? And we appreciate it.
Yeah, in advance, I wish to thank all who may want to come and visit. We are about 10 miles from the town Kisii, but also 3 kilometers away from our main market, Keumbu. But from the city, Nairobi, we have 5 hours drive. But if anyone wanted to come, he can connect his flight to Kisumu, and Kisumu is 1.5 hours to Kisii. It's a nice place to come and volunteer at the orphanage. If you look at our website, we have also provided the volunteer option. And we have already laid a form there that one can be able to fill in advance to come and volunteer. You can volunteer at the garden. We have a beautiful vegetable garden. You can also volunteer as a teacher at our small school, Emmanuel Lights Academy. You can also volunteer at the kitchen, helping to cook for the children. You can also volunteer in games. You can also volunteer in helping the children do their homeworks. You can also volunteer in trying to hike with the children and take them out. It's a very nice place. We have very nice kids, and you'll enjoy your time if you come. The land is peaceful. The weather is favorable. We have never experienced floods. We have never experienced war around here, so it's a very nice place. And the weather is also very good.
Praise God. That's awesome. That's awesome. Um, I wanted to ask you with regard to the children that going to school, and if somebody would want to volunteer, as what kind of knowledge would they have to have? What are the predominant lessons that are needed, and the focus of the schooling there for the children? And if you would separate the elementary and the high school children, if the focuses are different, and just kind of the things that they are learning, and if somebody did want to volunteer as far as education, what kind of knowledge should they have or hold?
I may want to start by saying that there are no very specific guidelines of the knowledge that a volunteer should have to engage in terms of volunteering in terms of education. But one should have the basics of maybe science, English, and mathematics, because all our children understand English. So if one has got a little bit of understanding science, we've got books that he can prepare before he goes to class. We have got English textbooks that he can prepare to go to class. And for those who understand mathematics, and it's divided into about three, 4 or 5 categories. We've got preschool. Those are young kids of age 4, age 5 to 6. And we've got a play group of kids of 4, which might be very difficult to engage. But the kids we have in the second level, that is grade 1 to grade 3, they understand English. But more importantly, our volunteers may engage themselves with the kids from grade 4 to junior secondary and senior secondary.
Okay, what are the, as far as, are you on quarterly systems or semester? What is the length of the, as far as the season for schooling? And are they now out for summer? And if so, when does school start back up?
Our year is divided into 3 terms. Term 1 is between January and end of March, when they break for holidays. Then term 2 begins from May to end of July, when they break for holidays. Then from September to November marks 3rd term, and December they break for holidays. Apparently in Kenya we don't have summer, we don't have winter, those extremes. We define by saying there is rain, there is no rain. That is how we count our seasons here. We don't have summer like in the US where you live. Here the climate is slightly cool. At times it goes high in heat, but not much, and it goes down. Then we experience rain, and at times it's cold, but not as cold as winter in your land.
Okay. All right. Very interesting. I'm going to ask one other question, then I'll get Kimberly, if you want to make a comment or ask anything or point out anything, please do. Feel free to interject or anything. But I wanted to ask you, Robert, with regard to the children, what do they like to do with their spare time, with their free time, and what kind of needs do you have? Like um, books, pens, pencils, art items, anything of that nature. Um, and of course, I know that, as far as sustenance, like blankets, clothing, medicines, anything that you are in particular need of that people can, send care packages directly out to you and to support the orphanage and the kids. And then afterwards, after Kimberly comments, and we'll go into some individual stories of the children because I think that would be touching as well.
During your free time, our kids like playing.
Of course.
They play for our kids, only that we are limited with facilities of play. But we use anything available, like the ropes and something like that, for the children to play. So we don't have the equipment. We don't have, we have not installed such things that the kids can use like other kids who come from rich homes. They use their time also to pray. We have an environment of praying. Our kids pray 3 times a day, wherever they are. at 6 in the morning, at 3 in the afternoon, and at 6 in the evening, just like Daniel did. Now, there are quite a number of needs here. There are those one-time needs, like beddings, which actually at the moment we are praying that we get more supply. We've got recurring needs every day, like food and supplies. We also have needs actually like school fees for the high school kids. So needs like food, supplies, clothing, beddings are actually a concern, a daily concern for us.
Okay, we will definitely create a list. And I was also talking to Kimberly previously about updating the website and also putting the individual stories of the different children there so that people can peruse it. And we also have pictures, images, and videos available at the Facebook, the Endeavor Freedom, which is the name of the nonprofit that we have that supports all the orphanages. You can go there and you'll find photos, and Robert posts a lot of different things there to get, a more visual representation of the community and Robert and his family and the group and the children there. But I think that it will be, an awesome idea and a great way for people to connect directly with you and the children and to support the community directly as well. Because I know a lot of people, myself included, when I first discovered you and Kimberly, I wanted to give to a righteous cause, something that was real, and to support the orphans and the widows in the way that I read from Second Ezra, and the way that the scriptures, ordain us to do as well. There's, in my opinion, no better way to spend time, focus, energy than in supporting the orphans, the widows, naked, anybody that is in need, and especially in other countries. Not saying you guys are not blessed as much as here in America. Not saying that at all, just in a different way. But certainly, America has been blessed with, I mean, they print the money for the rest of the world, and so we are beneficiaries of all of that, and people are able to follow their dreams and create and be entrepreneurs for different businesses, and it's an easy thing here in America, and so, but we want to support communities like yourself and with what you are doing as well. But Kimberly, would you like to comment, or do you have anything that you would like to add to the conversation?
Well, I also know that they have three they're not infants anymore, Boaz, and they're not infants anymore. They're more like toddlers. And I know that Terry, Robert's wife, has them all the time. And, you know, diapers and supplies for the babies, the food for them. I know that they need more tending. There's just things that they need more of. And so I just wanted to make mention that there are a few little ones there, little. So
Yes, and that was actually one of the things that touched me deeply, was the story of one of the children. Robert, you had told me that the little boy was found in the dumpster and that you were able to save him and to raise him. Can you tell us the story of the young ones, the babies there?
Yeah, as you said, we picked one from was picked from the dumpster. In fact, the mother had dumped the kid and left the kid to die. But with the good Samaritan, the kid was rescued and brought to Kibumbu, Rehema, Jukasuma, and I think the kid was 2 weeks. And the other one was found by the grade of KRCH, as young as he was. And as Kimberly said, they are free in number. And as all it goes, kids at that age needs a lot of attention, diapers, medication, food supplements, among many other things. And it is really mind-boggling together with the other young kids' wife here. Yes.
And is it the little boy named Boaz that you were talking about? And you said that there are other young ones. Can you share with us their names as well?
Husband.
Robert said that they named Boaz after my husband because I call my husband Boaz.
Oh, that's awesome.
After Kim's husband.
Okay, what about the other little ones? Can you tell us the story of how they came to be part of the community there?
Yeah, another one was brought in by the police officers, the government officers. The police is a security wing, a department of the government. After the kid was rescued by a good Samaritan, and the other one, as I indicated earlier, was left at our property, and when we came, that was on a Sabbath. That is how the kid was found. And we brought the kid home, and the kid has been here since 3 weeks, and the kid is now almost a year.
Oh, wow. Do you are people, continually dropping children off there, knowing that you are a safe sanctuary and a haven for raising and helping the other children?
Yeah, that has now become the trend. That has now become the trend, especially the latest that we had after the other kids were brought. The government equally has found this place. They haven't the same place. But the unfortunate thing is that the government does not support orphanages. It does not support orphanages. They bring a kid, they don't even bring the kid with the clothes, with anything. After the kid has been admitted and received, that's the last time you see the government officers coming back, unless it is a court case whereby the kid is supposed to appear and be brought back.
Mm. Can you tell us how many are in your community right now and the various ages? Again, for people that would like to, because I know people do want to and tend to want to support the younger children, but I'm sure that there's a great need amongst the teens and the middle school age children as well. And so, if you would, can you give us an idea as to the numbers, both male and female, of the different age groups?
Yeah, we've got age, as we said, between now, we can say between age of 11 months, those are the youngest, up to age 17. And we have female and male. We've got 40 female and 33 male at the moment.
Did you say 40 females and 33 males? Is that just to confirm?
Yes. Yes.
Wow, 70 children. And how many staff are with you besides your wife and your immediate family?
Yeah, initially, as the law requires, we had 9, but we could not be able to sustain the salaries. Now it is me, my wife, and 2 other volunteers. Some left because we were not able to pay the salaries.
Okay. Another couple questions, and then I'll go back to Kimberly, and then feel free to ask anything or interject anything, Kimberly. But wanted to inquire with regard to the gardening, and if somebody wanted to donate in that regard, and if somebody wanted to help even with their expertise, what are the needs, and how can people help you to expand what you're doing with the gardening? Is there a need like for seed or fruit trees or anything like that? And also with the livestock, if you are in need of, I don't know what, I know you have different types of animals there. If you could talk about that and tell us, what you would need to expand those operations as well.
Yeah, I may start by saying that expertise, those who are good in that are more than welcome to come as volunteers and help us, so now we can improve in that area. At the same time, land in PC is scarce. We were desiring that we get out of KC and leave some land where we can be able to plant more maize. Because we can't find a place here that we can be able to plant maize and then be able to sustain the children at the orphanage. And at the same time, we are trusting to leave some land where we can be able to plant more grass to feed the animals, because these animals help us to feed the children with the milk. We may not be able to buy meat for them because of the cost, but when they eat and drink milk, it gives them the proteins that they want. We have learned that we leased with the help of Sister Kim and friends, and I think the term is almost getting over this year. So we may need support in terms of leasing more land to plant fodder for the animals. And we're desiring that in future we can lease land away from KC where we can be able to plant maize. However, we've got some land that we recently purchased with the help of Zen, where we wanted to, and we are planning to build the school on, but the land that we bought is not arable, it's not agricultural, that we can turn it to plant maize there. It has a moral soil because what we wanted was land for the school.
Okay. And I do want to give a shout out to Jim and Joanne and all of the other people that did support us, Bruno and others, Ren, that have enabled us to give directly to the orphanage and to purchase the 2.5 acres that we are wanting to establish the school upon. One more question with regard to the livestock. You have chickens and cattle, and if you do you have male and female as far as the cow? And are you able to breed them? Because that I know that would be also a great benefit. And is that something that you would be interested in doing? And also, or is the lack of grass, is that an issue for doing something like that?
At this season, we have no chicken at the moment, but we have livestock, that means cows. But because we have a female, we don't have men. I may want to say, because our cows are zero grazing, we don't have enough land where we can have our cows free range. We were advised that keeping a bull is not economically viable. I'm sorry to say that's what we were advised. So how we breed our cows is that we get someone from the Department of Livestock to artificially inseminate our cows. And because we don't have many cows in the zero grazing, they say it will not be easy to keep a pool in that house. They become so strong that they can break out.
Oh, okay, okay. Well, that's something, perhaps we could revisit at another time is, establishing a corral that would enable you to maintain and also to raise. But of course, that's, something that we can look at and examine. But we will definitely create a list of needs and provide them upon the website. But Kimberly, we're about 9 minutes out from breaks. I wanted to give you a chance to um, talk, comment, anything that you can think of that, the listening audience can help with regard to the orphanage or something that we haven't covered. Anything?
Um, I do know that as we had gotten the land that was given the last time that we had um, done fundraisers to get the first phase. The second phase now is the construction of the school. And that can be done in increments. You can do the classrooms are $2,500 a piece. There would be 4 high school classes and 3 junior high school classes as the optimum. Like that's the goal to get to is those 7 buildings. Each one of those buildings are $2,500 a piece. And so as we raise money, we could do one classroom at a time to be able to get to those, or you could do all of it at once. But in the proposal, it has all of that stuff listed out. But I just wanted to put that out there too, as far as like what are we trying to do as far as needs on all different aspects. But it's to have one classroom and do one class is $2,500 a piece to do the building that goes in.
Yes, in the second hour, we're going to go into the needs as far as the project that we're going to be focused on now, which is to create a school. And, again, want to give a shout out to all the Endeavor Freedom supporters for helping us to purchase the land there in Kenya. And, the next phase of the operation is to build the school. And so, Robert, can you tell us how much it costs currently for you to send the children to school, and because it's required, it's not an option, and that's something that the government, even though they don't support and provide monetary support for you, they still make you send the children to schooling. And so if you could talk about that, and then when we get back from the break, we'll go into this in greater detail.
This is a nightmare for us. It is very, 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 very expensive for us to have kids in high school. Secondary school, as I said, only has 3 terms, and each term has got its own arrangements. And a kid is supposed to be in high school for 4 years and 3 years in junior secondary. And we have already given the breakdown in our website. But first term beginning in January has one-time fee, which is actually $547 for shopping, tuition, $300. Pocket money, this is out of pocket for the child to use while in school, $19. And transportation, because they have to be transported at $7 per those 3 months. And the total is $903. Then the second term, tuition, because the shopping is not done for second term, it is $300. And this one is needed by April because schools open in May. And the third term also is $300. So first year total, January year to December, is $1,503. But the subsequent years of 2, 3, and 4, and junior secondary, that is 8, 9, and 10, each subsequent year, year 2 and year 3 and year 4 tuition fees, transport and shopping, as of today, would be $750. So total years of secondary boarding school as of today would be $3,753. So you can find this laid out in our website in the pop-up called Sponsor a Child. And now this sponsorship is also divided with 2 or 3 options. Option 1 is sponsoring a child at our home, or that is on the basics and needs. We have Rehema status, we have Rafiki status, and at the same time we have Mkombozi status for the first option. And option 2 is sponsoring a secondary school students, and that is what I'm given as breakdown.
Awesome. All right. So if we are able to even just to get 2 buildings established, that would be enough really to cut a lot of these costs out. And also, it would also be able to generate for the community, because I'm sure that the surrounding community would want to send, especially with accredited teachers and working with the government to establish, accredited system, that this would immediately relieve the burden of having to pay for these exorbitant amount of fees, and also would then localize the education and put more of that control into what you are doing as far as trying to establish the schooling. And so, yeah, and also, Robert, we were talking about the dorms, and that you're trying to create and to build a dorm for both the women, I mean the girls and the boys. And so can you talk about that as well? And is that separate from the school structure that is needed to be established?
I may want to start from where you started by saying that if we were able to build this high school together with the junior, it will save us a lot. We have 20 plus kids in high school. When you multiply by 3,900, almost $4,000, multiplied by 20 plus, it will give you almost $100,000 that we are going to save, that we spend almost every year. At the same time, it will be a multi-blessing project, because in the same school, we believe the community may want to bring in their kids who will be able to pay school fees, and school fees will be able to pay the teachers. So the same project will create employment. And at the same time, it will equally improve the economy of this community, because people will now start selling items to our institution. So it is going to be a huge, huge blessing. And at the same time, it will also help the management of Kiombo Rehema Children's Home, because stress makes a person stay low in thinking. So many times we think about school fees, we think about stationery, we think about upkeeping, we think about food, we think about clothing and beddings. So if we are able to remove this other void of high school fees, it will be a huge blessing to us. Initially, we had an issue of Kihumbu Rehema Children's Home boys section dorm and the girls section dorm, which is actually now a gone case. We were able to build a boys house through Sister Kim and boys in the family and her friend, and we also have a dorms girl, so it's not in the budget now. What we may want in the future is to build dorms for the high school in future for those kids who stay far and may want to come in as boarders to come for education. Those are not kids from the orphanage, but kids who may want to come in and pay and stay as boarders. So it's going to be a huge relief. It's going to be an economic asset. It's going to be, how can I put it? It's going to generate a lot in the community. And the word I'm looking, English is my third language, so I look for these words. I think I may be able to get to that later time.
Mm-hmm. Hold on, Robert. We are at the time for break. So we're going to pick it up in about 3 minutes. We'll be right back at the top of the hour, everyone. Give us just a few minutes.
As a bookstore for truth seekers, it's our goal to make ancient manuscripts which were once held captive by secretive institutions available for public consideration. In our generation, where wisdom has increased, as Daniel the prophet foretold, we have access to many of the testimonies our early church brethren were persecuted for preserving. After being hidden for centuries, these manuscripts have been leaked from various sources throughout the earth, and it's our goal to gather these sources into printable form to make available for all who seek the ancient way. If you're looking to deepen your studies of the biblical narrative, find these ancient manuscripts and more at sacredwordpublishing.com. Your partnership with Sacred Word Publishing goes further than the publishing of ancient manuscripts and weekly video content.
You also make a huge impact across the earth in orphanages in Myanmar, India, Uganda, and Kenya.
Your support is crucial for the development of the ecclesia of real truth seekers.
We thank you for joining us in hosting Secrets Revealed, Momentary Zen, the Digital Readers Club, Ask Me Anything series, and other shows that have helped lead so many to the truth of salvation.
To become even more involved, please visit patreon.com/sacredwordpublishing, where you can partake in exclusive, interactive, patron-only content and help us continue shining the light of love in this darkened world.
Okay. All right. Welcome back, everybody, for a second hour. And we, again, appreciate all of you. I do want to remind everybody that we are having a conference in April 12th through the 13th at the Great Wolf Lodge in Dallas, Texas. I will be reaching out to the speakers. My son and I and Joy, we talked about it this weekend. And so I will be reaching out and getting that all locked down. We'll update the website and keep you all abreast of the situation. But please do join us if you can. It will be awesome fellowship. And my hope is that we are able to get at least the structure of the two buildings established so that the schooling can go ahead and get implemented, and that will be part of the process that will save Robert and the community there from having to outsource the educational need of the children there. And so let me first go back to Kimberly. Kimberly, if you have anything that you'd like to add or any comment, and then we'll go back to Robert.
Yes, the comment on that, I will, if we do the two classrooms, that it would be like the two classrooms, and then you would need the bathroom facilities. And anyway, I think it's very doable. Here in just a minute, I can add up what those things, what it can be based on the projection plan that I have here, doing it in smaller segments.
Yes, please do. And I just want to state one other thing, that Kimberly was instrumental in helping Robert and the orphanage to get the well put into place so that they could have clean water, which used to be a problem. And so if I'm correct, Robert and the orphanage there are one of the only sources that have the clean well and the clean water. And that would be a benefit also in establishing the schooling there, and that, the community all around and surrounding, they would also benefit from coming to that particular area. And, the benefits of clean water are, you can't put a price on that. Not having to contend with water disease and illnesses, those kind of things, which can really, really get you sick. And everybody needs clean water in order to sustain health and well-being. Robert, I want to go back to you, brother. And if you would just talk about the stripped down bare minimal need that we need to establish and get done in order for you to then now attract the teachers, and also to get the community to support you in the endeavor to establish the Endeavor Freedom School there?
They are laying down regulations for a school to run. And basically, number one is the infrastructure part of it, under the buildings, including the washrooms, which actually are very, very essential. And these washrooms must be divided, female and male and staff. So that means we'll have about 3 blocks. They will not allow school to start unless those things are in place. Number 2, there must be classrooms where the kids can come and learn. And as we had said earlier, we may want to do junior high school and at the same time do high school. So as Kim was saying, if we can do 2 classes, that means we'll start with the junior one and the senior one and the graduate as we move on. So the minimum is that we must, as per law, provide the laboratories and the minimum classes. And these classes, for them to run, we must also have a library and we must also have a laboratory. Those are the minimum, I think, requirements. For the 2 classes, they must have their library and they must also have the laboratory. So to begin with, 2 classes, laboratories, lab, and library. And as time goes by and as opens doors, we will equip the laboratory with the equipment and the lab and the library with books. But if we have those things starting, then their community will start also bring their kids in.
Awesome. So we're talking about 4 structures coming together with regard to the junior high and the high school and the 2 bathrooms. Is there, because from what I remember, there's also a need for, the administrative. Is that not correct? So
Yes,
5 buildings or 5 different
departments. So that one brings in now 5 blocks.
Okay, great. And Kimberly, whenever you do get the breakdown of the cost for, those 5 things combined together, please do interject and let us know.
I have that. So if you
please.
break it down based on the project proposal that I have here in front of me, when it's broken down, you're doing 2 classrooms at $5,000. That's $2,500 a piece. $4,500 for the bathrooms, $2,500 for the library and the laboratory. And then you have to have the blackboards and the desks because that's in there too. You wouldn't have to have all of the desks, but you would have to have some of the desks. And so when you put those in with the electricity and construction and supply, because that comes up to $2,400 as well. Because once you have the buildings, then you have to run the electrical construction and supply. That's $2,400. So it comes out to $19,590 to build all of that.
Really, that is minuscule. Honestly, I mean, of course, yes, that is a nice sum, but really to create a school and for the amount that it would save Robert and the children, as many listeners as we have, even if we all were to give, $5 each, if there's 43,000 subscribers here, for almost 44,000. Even if we just all together gave just a small amount, it would cover the cost. And yeah, Brick, I do agree with you, brother. That's really cheap. You couldn't build a school here in America for that amount. And so I'm praying that, and I'm going to pray this now, and Robert, I'll give you a chance to, brother. But I'm just going to pray that we are able to gather the funds to support you and the community and the orphans and the needs of the community there, to establish these structures, to put into place these buildings, and to get the education of the children implemented and started, and that we are able to get all of these things done and put into place by the time of the conference, and that we can provide an update. Robert, we'll get you to send maybe a video presentation, an update. You can show us what's going on and how things are progressing. And I just pray that all of these things are done in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. May it be so, and so be it. Amen.
Amen. Something else I wanted to mention, Zen, and you and I had talked about this before. It's going back to the sponsor a student, sponsor one of the students. I think it's very interesting. I had a pen pal when I was in high school, and we supported, a family when I was a kid, and we would send chain letters back and forth, and she would let me know how she was and stuff when I was younger. And that always stuck with me. And maybe that's why I've been with Robert for so long as well. But with the technology and the things that we have now, if someone wanted to support a high schooler or something, or a middle schooler, they could write back and forth and email back and forth. And, Robert has the ability to do like messenger video calls, where you could actually talk to your sponsored, student and get to know what's going on in their life and different things. And I think that that's beneficial relationally, so you can see what's actually going on, and actually talk to them, on screen.
Oh, absolutely. I think that would be an awesome thing. And I remember, and when you and I talked about this, back in my younger days, when the Iraq War broke out, and the war in Afghanistan, I had sponsored children there, and that's what led me, to the idea, because I wanted to really give people to a chance, as you said, having a pen pal and being able to communicate directly with the children themselves, and to encourage their growth. And I know that different people, okay, maybe you can't give a large amount, but just reaching out and, sponsoring a child, even a young one, because I know a lot of people, it's like a way of adopting, helping and enabling a child with their education in a different country, and watching them grow. What a beautiful thing that is, and can be. And so that's why, I wanted Robert also to share some of the stories. And Robert, if you would, can you share some stories of, the middle schoolers and also the high schoolers, and their origins, the things, how they came to be with you. You did tell me the story of how, AIDS as an epidemic had decimated part of the population, and that some of the children had come to you in with those kind of situations. If you could, make this real for us and help us to understand as to how certain, the different children have come to you and come to be in your care. And one other thing with regard to, I know you are a believer, brother. I've prayed with you for months now. I've known you for years. I've prayed with you for years. I know that you are strong in faith. And I told you, before, that I wasn't, because I wasn't feeling good. I wasn't doing well. And I shared with you that story, and I did a show on this actually last night. But I feel so much better, and I want to be productive, and this is important to me because, again, as the name of the title of the show is, we want to defend the orphans and uplift the widows and support you in what you are doing, brother. I really applaud you in your efforts in taking care of these children and opening your doors in the way that you have all of these years, and you as well, Kimberly, in supporting Robert and also in bringing me into the fold. I really appreciate that as well. Robert?
Yeah, I may want to say that Kehumbere, my children's home, was founded through one child. Yahweh had put in us a burden to bring a small school to educate those children who are vulnerable, who not be able to go to school, and who didn't have the opportunity to learn like others. So a child was brought to us one morning, and this kid was an orphan. And we were told that the brothers and the sisters wanted to have her die naturally because they thought the mother and the father had died of HIV. So we brought the girl home, and within a few days, the girl's health had started changing, and everyone in the community was trying to talk about it. And it was discovered that although they were saying she was HIV, she was not. So it is through this girl, Mary, the first girl who came to Kimberly Children's Home, that our hearts and our eyes were open to know that Terry and I had a calling towards helping the orphans in this community. And the stories that people heard about Mary and how Mary was thriving, that story went around, and relatives now started coming in and helping, telling us, this girl is suffering like this, because we first started with the girls. This girl has this problem, could you please help? And the Kimberly children saw from one child, it grew up to the population we have. Another case we have here is the case of Kelvin. Kelvin's father wanted to kill him and kill the mother. So one morning, the father sends Kelvin to go and borrow a file from the neighbor. So when Kelvin was returning from a distance, he saw like there was blood in the house. So when he moved closer to the father at the entrance of the door, the father raised a machete to cut his head. So he ran away, and the father closed the house. He also took poison and died because this was the only child they had. So Kelvin was left as an orphan because the father killed himself and he killed the mother. So the boy was brought here. He was then in grade 3, a very young boy, and now he has grown. And we have got Hamos together with his brother Moses. These were former street children, and as a burden of helping the children in the community was rising in us, we were also compelled through the Wakia Kodeshi also to help those on the streets. Then that is how we created a relationship with Moses and Amos, and the two of them came here, very young kids, and right now they are in high school. He who was born on that street is in high school and is playing keyboard and music in the church. Those are some of the stories that we have.
Awesome. That is, I mean, of course, the stories of what they have come through, and I can just imagine how that would be traumatizing. But praise God that you were there to help them and to give them guidance and direction and to take them in and for them to be, doing music and supporting you in what you were doing. That's a really beautiful thing. Can you share with us a few stories of the the girls that have come to be with you as well, the teenagers or middle schoolers, just so we can put faces and names to the children there. And of course, people can go to the website, and Kimberly, if you would put it in the chat again, we will put it in the description of this video as well, so that you guys can go and the people listening can go directly and see their stories. And if you are wanting and willing, please do support the children directly and also help us to build this school system as well. And we would greatly appreciate that as well. Um, Robert?
Hello?
Yes, can you hear me, brother? I was just going to get you to share a couple more stories of the girls or the young ladies that are there in your care as well. If you could just share a couple examples in that way, and then we'll move forward.
Yeah, we have the latest that was rescued by the police, and we were able to share. And this was a kid who was being, in fact, almost being killed by the stepmother because the mother had died. She was terribly beaten up. Her back was terribly. She was using the cane to beat, and at times she could use, I don't know the right word I can use. At times I lose vocabulary. So she was starved almost to death, and she was rescued by the neighbors and handed over to the police, and the police brought that girl here. Another girl who is doing very well now, and she's emerging to become an artist. This girl can look you then and draw you up. Her name is Jalot. Jalot was born to a mother who is crazy, insane. And she was rescued one morning after the mother had been repeatedly raped the whole night by the street boys. And fortunately, although the girl was messed up, but not much messed up, so through the good Samaritans who had that store in the streets, they rescued the girl after taking the mother to hospital, and they brought that girl here. That girl was age 8 by then, and the girl is now safe, and her talents are actually moving up. She's very sharp. She, as I said, she can look you and draw you up at that very young age. So that's another girl.
Wow, that's amazing, and thank you for sharing those stories, Robert. In regard to the website, do you currently have all of the children posted their individual stories, and can people go there to even find the children that we've spoken about? And I really feel like people are going to reach out to, especially Boaz, with what he had gone through, and just heart-wrenching.
On our website, we have not captured individual stories, but we have on our home on the website, we have Amos and Moses. These two boys who can be seen here are the ones who say that they are Alfima street kids.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that is an idea you've given us that we need to write their stories on the website.
Yes, I think that would be beneficial. And that way, when somebody goes there, they can, read what each of the children have gone through, and they, having their heartstrings tugged, they could decide who to sponsor, even if it's one or a couple or, a number of others. But um, and of course you can give directly to Kayomba as well, and also for those that are interested, if you were to want a tax write-off, you can also donate to Endeavor Freedom, and 100% of whatever you give would go directly to Robert, and it would be a taxable write-off for you. And so it's a win-win situation in that regard as well. And we have had people like, for instance, the people that did donate a large amount to purchase the land. All of that money, of course, went directly to them, to Robert, and he was able to purchase and get the 2.5 acres for the schooling. And so we are in now the second phase, and I do again want to just thank Jim and Joanne and Rin and Bruno and everybody else. There's so many of you that have given to support the other orphanages and Kenya. We do currently support, as you see in the video, a number of different orphanages, and so you can tell us which you would choose and prefer to have money sent to. But right now we are definitely focused, and I am, on what Robert is trying to do with the schooling, because that would be an incredible turnaround for them. Instead of having to put all that money out, they're going to be able to save those funds and also to create a place of sanctuary. Because again, Robert is a believer. He is a follower of the Most High. And not only that, but he is a shepherd to the community. He is guiding and helping and doing the things that we are all commanded to do, and taking care of the orphans, and and providing for their needs. And I always hear you, Robert, when we talk that Yahuwah is faithful, and I, without a doubt, believe that, and certainly that has played out in my life. People that have been listening for a long time are familiar with my story and the things that I have come through and the miracles that have happened around me. And so I know that this is another miracle that the Most High will put his energy and inspiration and blessings behind, and that we're going to be able to make this happen for the children there. I just feel it in my heart, and we're definitely going to see this through. But Kimberly, let me turn it back over to you and give you a chance to speak again and comment, and then we'll go back to Robert.
Okay. Well, I just wanted to mention too, you had mentioned the well a while ago, and yes, we did purchase a well, and it has been a good source of water to the community. There's no other clean water there in the community at all. That was the first well to actually be put in the community. So to my knowledge, it's used by the community as well. And last month, a electrical storm had come through and knocked out the solar panels and the water pump and knocked a bunch of things out. And anyway, today, well, actually, it would have been yesterday for Robert, because it's early in the morning there. But yesterday they've got the clean water back up and the well fixed and the solar panels fixed and had running water again. So that was a major blessing.
Yeah, that's awesome. And also, just for the listening audience, Robert, got up to be with us live on this broadcast. It's 4:30 in the morning there, and thank you, Robert, also for taking the time to join us and to be with us in this broadcast. And certainly, we will do these every once in a while to provide an update and to give people an idea as to the progression. And also we'll talk about, the sponsorships of the children and the stories that they are sharing, the people that reach out to them, and also, of course, the progress with the school and how all that is moving. And, we'll do these kind of things as well. Because there's a lot happening with the other orphanages as well. And so we'll provide updates. But like I said, you can go to our Facebook page, Endeavor Freedom, and you can find the updates and pictures and stories from the different, like Robert being the shepherd there. We have Naugong, Jacob, and India, in Myanmar, in that particular area, and others. And so you can find the stories there and read, and it touches your heart, because this is real. This is, in my opinion, where we should be focused in helping others, and especially in other portions of the world. We are so greatly blessed. We don't even recognize, Americans do not recognize how fortunate we are. And so the way that the Most High works, I know this from experience. You bless others and the Most High blesses you. He's blessing us always, every moment of every day. The miracle of being part of the creation, able to grow food from the ground and to take sustenance directly from the abundance that he pours out on all of us. I mean, even the rain coming down and nourishing and feeding the plants and the grasses and the everything, the trees, all of that is an incredible blessing. We are so fortunate. Let us recognize and let us give gratitude in the way that the Most High commanded us. I mean, we have recently done stories of Job and Abraham and the various patriarchs, and they took care of the communities, and they provided the word. They prayed with the people that came into their lives, and they gave them direction in regard to knowledge of the Most High, and who they should truly worship and give gratitude to. Robert, can you tell us about the area, the region, and how you are, because you are a believer, and as to the different faiths and the different kinds of belief systems that are surrounding you, because really you are like a light at the top of the hill.
We are surrounded by, I may want to use the word, pagan believers, people who don't believe in Torah, and those who don't keep Sabbath, and they are Sunday keepers. And actually, even before we became Sabbath keepers, Sister Kim can be able to illustrate those years we were also Sunday keepers. So we are surrounded by those who don't believe the way we believe. And when we started, it was not very easy. It was very difficult. But as time went by, people have now started knowing that we don't worship Satan. They were calling us Illuminati. They were calling us devil worshippers when we started, because of our way of belief in Yahweh. So we are not many as such, but we thank Yahweh that every Sabbath at the church we receive guests. We at church we've got different programs that we do. We've got our praise and worship team, and majorly led by a very powerful praise and worship leader. I pray that maybe she can be invited one time to come and minister in the US, maybe during a conference. She is such a talented praise and worship leader. Her name is Delphine. And we also have testimony time. We have also time for choir, and we have also time for the sermon. That is how our Sabbath looks like. But looks like we are, as you said, a city built on a hill. We are a drop in the ocean in this village. We are the only messianic believers around here.
Yeah, so even that, that is a reason for us to support you in your efforts, and because we're the family of Christ, we're a community of believers spread across the plane of the earth. We've been all given the Great Commission to take the good news of the gospel and salvation through Christ, the promise of the cross, eternity, the millennial reign, Sabbath rest. All of this is important. And even just praying with people and showing them through example what it means to be a believer, not just saying, but doing, and having people experiencing that doing, it really affects and changes lives. Kimberly, care to comment?
Yes, that is something that changes even like the atmosphere around us. Like, if we show love unto others, not just say that we love someone, but love through our actions,
Yes.
When we love people through our actions of just meeting needs, or helping wherever we are, helping whoever we see in our path with the needs that they have, not only does it help us, but it also it changes our vibration, it changes our frequency, it changes the world around us. If everybody would just start doing that, then this whole world would change instantly, if we just all paid it forward with loving one another and doing good to our neighbors.
Absolutely. Which is, as Christ said, the whole of the law, to love each other and to love him and each other as we love the Most High. And what a beautiful thing that would be, if we had that kind of love. But of course, we know that there is an enemy, and the enemy has the children of Belial, and that they are working, unfortunately, towards the slaughter of the innocents, creating unnecessary wars, invading nations and communities and places to get access to their resources. And they're the reasons why Christ said, unless the days be shortened, there should be no flesh left. And why it is that we need the Messiah. We need to be saved. We can't save ourselves. I don't care how much the New Agers tell us, that the ancient aliens are coming to save us and all of that. No, we have to rely upon Elohim, the Father, the Son, the Holy Spirit. Lean on them. We know the truth, and we have to share that with others. And that's part of the outreach of what we are trying to do in supporting Robert and the others around the world that are doing what he is doing. And so we've got.
I don't
Go
mean
ahead.
to interrupt, but
No, please.
On that same note that you were just speaking of, I have a story. Robert probably hasn't even thought of this, but you had asked him the question about, how are the people that are surrounding him? As they came up as an orphanage, they're surrounded by a lot of pagans that worship different gods, all kinds of different gods, different things, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And they had been very verbal and had destroyed things in the past. They had destroyed the fences that Robert and them have had put up. They had called names and threatened violence um, against Robert, calling them Satanists and stuff, that they were Satan worshipers because, you know, they weren't the normal kind of, they're messianic anyway. Um, you know, Robert had called me many times and had let me know that, hey, this may not be getting very good. I'm being kind and nice, but this is getting a little extreme. Well, you know, we prayed about it, and I don't remember how long it was, maybe a year, maybe a year and a half, but as time has gone by, this was all before we got the well, and then after we got the well, and then as time had gone by, maybe it was a couple years. Um, these fellas who were making all of this brouhaha, I guess you'd say, and causing problems and doing these things, had turned around and had actually come in to a church service, um, and had come to a church service. And if I'm not mistaken, didn't they come more than once and turn their lives around? Is that true? Am I remembering that correctly, Robert?
Yes, yes, very precious again.
And so anyway, it was a testimony to the fact that these guys, these same ones that had been so vocal and so just trying to do whatever they could to destroy the orphanage and destroy the church that was being built, you know, to be a, a safe haven and a source of life and a source of resource. They actually have turned their lives around and are now serving, and now they have grown in their reach at the KRCH. So that was a real blessing to see how things for the enemy side, as you were talking a while ago, you know, that enemy that's trying to take us down, light will always win. And
Yeah.
so light will always win, and that darkness just will have to fade away.
I have to share this story since you brought up how there is community of these pagan disbelievers all around. I had seen on an individual named Mr. Ballin, and he was telling the story of this taxi cab driver that he had called his friends and told them that he had been abducted and that he found himself in some kind of underground bunker type facility, and he just called his friends and told them where he had been grabbed. They found his motor scooter, his bike that he used to taxi around people, and they were able to find this underground facility. And what they came to know about it is that there was a voodoo priest that was abducting people, and what they were doing is that they were chopping off limbs in order for them to use and to cannibalize and also use as blood sacrifice these people's bodies in their rituals. And some of them were dismembered and bleeding out, and they would just keep them in these places and utilize them until they were passed away, and then they would feed them to I think it was the swine or something of that nature. But they told the police officers about it, and from what I understand, they were able to find and free this group, but nothing came about, as far as prosecution or justice against this individual. Supposedly he was, connected high level in the community. But this story you can find under Mr. Ballin. I do believe, if I recall correctly, that this was in Kenya as well, where Robert is. And so this is the kind of darkness that is surrounding, um, and I'm not saying it's right there, and praise God, people are coming to the faith. And I do pray for protection, that the Most High puts his hand of grace and protection upon Robert and the community there and keep them and protect them from such evil. But this is the kind of thing that is going on in, you know, other places and other parts of the world. And it's gruesome, yes, I know, but again, this is the truth of, the stories that have come out and that have been discovered, this kind of thing going on. And there's a lot of voodoo, a lot of, these pagan type belief systems and people sacrificing or doing blood sacrifice or things like that in order to gain the favor of these so-called gods. And, one other thing I've seen, people that have come under possession, they run through fire and, under these demonic influences and are able to stick skewers all the way through their arms, through their cheeks. And I mean, just it doesn't seem even real, but these kind of things, again, are evidence of these things happening and taking place. But Robert, can you comment on that? Have you experienced, have you heard of any type story of this kind of thing happening or going on there in, whether it's Nairobi or anywhere around you?
Yes, this is a very painful story that goes back to 2018, and that it was after we as a family that we have to do. Now we have to believe, do, and teach what Messiah Hamashiach Yeshua was able to do and teach when he was here. And for this reason, as a family, it costed us a lot through the death of my sister, who was actually killed, and her remains were dumped in an unknown place, and we did a lot of search for 33 days. I want to thank God, Sister Kim and the family. They stood with us in prayer. They supported us financially in the search. We looked for her remains until we found that she was killed, and the remains were hid in a sugar plantation. And what we saw is hallowing. What we saw will never depart from our mind. My sister's body was badly mutilated. I don't know. She had decomposed, and we saw a skull, we saw the bones of her hand, some parts of the body were missing, and we carried the remains to the morgue, and thanks to the family who helped us, that is Sister Kim, until today we couldn't be knowing where our sister is. So I wanted to say that it happens, and it happened here at that time. But by and by, that aggressiveness that people had against us is going down and down and down. And as Sister Kim said, most of those people who are against us are now members of our congregation.
Oh, wow, praise God. And I do pray for your sister, and I'm sorry to hear about that, Robert. My condolences to you, brother, in your loss. I can't imagine what that feels like to, to lose your family member and your sister. But we are coming to the end of the program, so I want to give both of you a chance to share final comment and also to give out the name of the website. And if you would, Kimberly, please spell it out once more and put it in the chat room. And as I said, we will add it into the description of this video, and then we'll close up with Robert.
Yes. So the website is Kayumba Rama Children's Home.org, and that is spelled KEUMBUREHEMA children'shome.org. And just for final comment from me, I just want everyone to know that for me, I've been supporting and been with Robert for, I don't know, it's been probably 10, 11 years now, for quite some time. And I know that they are a great source of prayer and fasting. And if there is ever anything that is needed, they will pray and fast and seek Creator and Yeshua for all direction. And like you say, when you give into others, blessing comes back to you. And for me, the blessings that have come back as a giver, I can't even imagine or even go into all the blessings that Creator has given me that are there. But as far as praying and fasting, I wouldn't be able to do all of the things that I do in the TASA movement, the American State National Movement, that I'm doing without their prayer and fasting for me constantly, because I just know that He's leading me on. And so I just wanted to say that for those, if you partner, when you partner with someone and you show your support on a consistent basis, partnering with them, you not only partner with them financially, but you partner with them spiritually. Their covering of prayer and fasting. And when Robert says they pray 3 times a day, they do. These kids pray, and Yah hears the hearts of children. And you just see the things happen that are not explained any other way in your life, just little things that Creator does. And so again, that website is Kayumba Rama Children's Home, KEUMBUREHEMA children'shome.org.
And thank you, Kimberly, again for all that you've done. I just want to really quickly mention that I was actually supporting somebody that was a scam, a pastor that supposedly was a pastor, and realized when I reached out and came in contact with Robert that he was the real deal and that he was really supporting. And that's another thing we have to be careful of. If you don't know, there are a lot of scam charities out there and people that are just trying to, soak up and take your money. But Robert, please, brother, we've got just 5 minutes remaining. If you would, final comment and anything that you'd like to say to address the listening audience.
Family makes us rated, but Yeshua makes us a family. I just want to thank God for all the family that Yeshua has given to us. Thanking you in advance for all the support that you've given us. Children's Home could not be here if it were not for you. One, for your financial support, which I know you spare a great deal and a huge sacrifice to have a meal on the table for these kids. Thank you for the water that is flowing here. We see this and we remember you guys. Yahweh bless you and keep you. Psalms 41 verse 1. Blessed is the one who considers the poor. In the day of trouble, the Lord will deliver him. May it happen to you. May Yahweh have a reason to vow in his name, like in Genesis 22, verse 18, that because of what you have done to KRCH, may he find reason to bless you too. As I conclude, Proverbs 22, verse 9, blessed be he who has a generous eye, for he shares his bread with the poor. May Yahweh bless your generosity. May Yahweh bless you for sharing your bread, even with the KRCH. Thank you so much as you consider to give towards the construction of the high school. Yahweh keep you and bless you.
Amen. Thank you, brother. And definitely we will do an update at some point a little bit down the road, and certainly we'll catch up with you again, Kimberly, so you can give us an update on the court case that is now before the Supreme Court. And I just want to thank everybody in the chat again for supporting our ministry. And I'm not talking about donations, because I never ask anybody to give directly to us. I don't ask for money. I don't spend time in that manner, but I am asking those of you that can to please support the orphanage, Robert and his efforts, and the school, the children. I thank you in advance for doing so. And I ask that the Most High also protect all of you, guide you, lead you in discernment, bless you in the way that you bless others, that we are commanded to love even our enemies. And that is what makes us so unique, is that we don't come from a place of expectation. We come from a place of generosity, random acts of kindness, do unto others because it feels good to do good. And that's what it's about. And so thank you again, everybody. I appreciate all of you. I hope that you enjoyed the show. And, again, we'll see you on Saturday for the DRC. May you all be blessed, and may Yahuwah watch over and keep all of you safe. Thank you, Robert, for staying up, brother. I know it's late there, and that you are actually early, but send our regards to the family, the loved ones, the community, and we'll do what we can to help and support and to feed and to take care of the orphans in the way that you are. And thank you, Kimberly. Be blessed all. Shalom.
Thank you.
And
Good night.
good night.
Thank you, everybody, for joining us for this video and this broadcast. We appreciate all of you, and thank you for your patronage. Please do like and subscribe and share with your friends. God bless all of you in your seeking.